Dusty.
You are welcome.
All right, guys. So thank you all for joining us this morning. We have Dusty Oglesby with us today. Dusty, of course, was going to be our bold coach for the Sarasota launch until we had the COVID issue come up. And of course, we know MAPS has done an awesome job of pivoting and putting a plan in place for us all to still be able to get the bold experience. As well as being a bold coach, Dusty's a top agent from the North Texas region. But I know that he and Jamie are excited to share a lot with you today. So Jamie, I'll hand it off to you and Dusty, and we'll go from there.
Thanks, Kieran. We always love Kieran's DJ. Do you see his headset, mic, the DJ? Kieran,
He's ready, man. I was impressed getting on this morning.
He's something. Anyway, I'm excited to have you, and I'm just really going to turn it over to you. I just want to encourage the agents, to get registered if they haven't. I'm sure you'll probably mention that, but I've had the opportunity to get to know Dusty. He's an amazing human being, an amazing leader. The thing that I think that I impress most about you is you're an incredible father and husband. So I really appreciate your leadership, more so in that way than in any other way. So anyway, it's yours.
Well, Jamie, thank you so much. And yes, I tell you what, being a husband and a father are two of the greatest gifts I've ever have in my life. And I'm a firm believer, and Jamie, I know you are too. I'm not just a bold coach just to be a coach. I'm a bold coach because I really believe in life by design and not by default. I think all of us to some level have probably had seasons in our lives that we've lived by default, and yet you and I get the opportunity to live our life by design. And that's a lot of what I'm going to talk to you about this morning. And so I'm going to talk to you for a little bit and then open up, and you guys feel free to ask any questions that you have whatsoever. And mainly the first thing I want to tell you is you're not alone. And I think you know that. You've got incredible leadership there in your market center. I've been so impressed with your market center level leadership from day one in all this, right? So Jamie, we got on the phone, thought we were going to be launching Bold there in Sarasota. Very quickly that turned to, hey, we're going to do this digitally. And then very quickly that turned to Bold Pivot. And so, hey, we've all made a lot of adjustments and pivots to get where we are. And yet I'll start by telling you, I've never been more impressed or more honored to be with a company like Keller Williams than I am today. The way that I've seen our leadership respond from Gary Keller all the way through to the local level has honestly been second to none. And so as we get started, can y'all just give a silent wave or a clap for your leadership and for Gary Keller and for everyone who stepped up and stepped in during this season. So here's what I want to talk to you about more than anything today, and it's the choices that you and I make and how we respond today where we are. If I've learned anything in 42 years of the gift of life I've been able to have, I've learned this, and that is I don't get to choose all my circumstances, right? There have been moments in my life, and I'm sure in your life, when my legs have been knocked out from under me. I didn't know it was coming. I didn't choose it. I didn't even see it on its way. There's been other times, man, life's just hit me flat in the face, right? Like everything was going well, and then all of a sudden, man, I just got waylaid. And so here's what I've learned. Whether it's COVID-19 or something else, there are always going to be things in our life, in our business, in the market that are going to change without even notice. And here's what I've learned, and that is this. I don't get to choose all my circumstances. I do get to choose how I respond in the middle of my circumstances, though. That falls on me. So I can choose to either be a victim and blame COVID-19 and blame the market or blame other people, or I can stand up and be accountable, and I can make the choices that are going to drive me forward and use the language that's going to drive me forward. So that's the first thing I want to really encourage you guys to in this season, is the choices that you and I make today are going to be our results tomorrow, a month from now, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, or a year from now. And I think you guys know as well as I do that number one, this season for us is not going anywhere anytime soon, okay? I want you to hear me, and I don't say this to discourage you. I say this to prepare you. We're on the front end of this shift, okay? We have not seen the full effects of what it's done to our economy across the country, the economy across the world. And so you and I are in position where our response and our mindset is now more important than it ever has been before. Okay. And I'll also tell you this, I'll be very honest with you. One thing you'll know about me, and just so you know, I plan on coming to Sarasota when all this is over to begin with. Okay. When you're a Texas boy, you like to come to Sarasota because y'all got way better weather than we do. One thing that I'll be very honest with you in is my own feelings around what's happened over the course of the last couple of weeks. So just so you know, as bold coaches, we don't just wake up and the world just makes sense all the time. All right. Like Jamie, I know you are positively driven and have a great mindset. And yet, Jamie, we all have the same heart. We all have the same mind, and we all struggle there at times. Right. And so I'll be honest with you. Hey, I've had moments when fear has rushed in on me and taken over my mind. I've had moments where worry has rushed in on me. So here's another thing I've learned though, and I want to help you guys with today. That is, I don't always get to choose the first thought that I have. Right. There's times that fear just hits me. And I feel almost like I'm in quicksand, right? Here's what I know though. I get to choose my second thought. So if I will hold that first thought captive, then I can change my second thought, which then will change my behavior, because there's a bold law that says logic makes you think and emotion makes you act, right? Well, if my emotion is that of fear, then I'm going to act out of fear, or I might not act at all. Okay. How many of you have caught yourself, just by raising a hand, over the course of the last month or two, just kind of sit still and not feel like you want to do anything? Anybody felt that way? Right? It's a lot easier to be lazy at home, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So when those feelings come, we typically act out of those feelings. So what you and I've got to do is we've got to have two shifts right now in the middle of this shift. And that's a mindset shift and an action shift. Okay. If I have a great mindset and then I don't do anything about it, I haven't accomplished anything. I'm just a really positive person that's going to go positively broke. Are you guys tracking with me? Like if we don't get into action, then we're just sitting around talking about positivity, and there's a lot more to it than that. Are you guys tracking with me? So let's learn to hold that first thought captive, and then let's change the way we look at things so the things we look at change, right? Gary tells us in shift that there's actually a gift in the shift. I think there's a number of gifts in the shift. So here's one thing I would encourage you to do every morning right now when you get up. I'd encourage you to write down in your journals on one side of the paper, just draw a line down the middle. On one side, write down my business, and on the other side, write down my life. And then below that, every morning, write down 3 gifts you've received in this shift. Okay? Because I'm telling you, there's gifts out there, and you and I have got to stay focused on the gifts of the shift rather than going to the fear or the worry or the unknown. Okay? For instance, all of us have received the gift of time in the shift. Yes or no? How many of you 2 months ago, your excuse for everything was, I don't have time, right? How many of us were like, oh, we're so busy. I'm just so busy. I don't have time. I don't have time to do that, coach. You know what you have now, Sarasota? Time. Lots of it, right? Okay. And so, we have these gifts. I think about gifts in our life, right? And Jamie brought up my family. Typically right now, I would be on the Bold Road 4 days in a row. I would leave my house on Sunday. I would be in a different city every day until Thursday, and I would fly home late on Thursday night. I would have missed my wife's birthday, and I would have missed time with my kids. And what I get right now is I get to eat breakfast every morning with my kids. I get to eat lunch with them. The other day, I had a Princess Day with my daughter. I'll send you pictures if you want that. It was awesome. I had a dude day with my son, right? We searched for Pokemon forever. And guys, here's what I'm going to tell you. This gift that we have, we're not going to get it back later. You guys tracking with me? So let's not get to the other side of this and look back and think, man, I wish I had. Okay? So now let's talk about those feelings, though, that you and I have. Because here's the reality. We have them. And they're going to blindside us sometimes. So I want to tell you probably the most transforming moment in my personal life and also in my relationships and my business that happened with me. And that was 2 weeks before I married my bride. So 2 weeks before I married my bride, I sat down with my spiritual mentor, and I'll never forget this conversation, Sarasota. He said, Dusty, I want you to remember something as you get married in 2 weeks, okay? I want you to remember that you're not always going to feel love. And I thought, what a terrible thing to say to me. Why would you? I get married in 2 weeks, bro. You're supposed to encourage me and tell me how great this is going to be. And here you are telling me I'm not going to feel love. And then he went further and he said, Dusty, please hear me. He said, here's what I can promise you. There's going to be days when you feel angry. And there's going to be days when you feel frustrated. And there's going to be days when things don't go your way and you're not going to like it. And there's going to be days, Dusty, when you're on one side of the earth and she's on the other, and you guys are struggling to figure out how do we get on the same page. And he said, on those days when things don't make sense, when your feelings are all over the map, he said, I want you to go back to the day you married her. I want you to look her in the eyes, and I want you to remember to go on what you know, not on what you feel. And that changed the way that I looked at every day with my bride and every day in every relationship I have. And today, Sarasota, in this season, when our feelings are all over the place, I want to encourage you today to go on what you know, not on what you feel. Okay? Now I want to give you 4 things that you can know today, and that by knowing these things and making that mindset shift and the action shift, that you will not only survive what we're walking through right now, you will thrive in it, and you'll thrive on the other side of it, okay? So here's what I can tell you I know about a shift. We cannot close our eyes and then open them hoping that this is over, okay? The only way we get through a shift, Sarasota, is we walk right through the middle of it with our eyes wide open, okay? That's the only way we get through it. You can't go around it. You can't stuff it, pretend like it's not here, and you can't just get over it. You got to walk right through the middle of it, okay? So here's 4 things to teach you how to walk right through the middle of it. And these 4 things, guys, is what the course writers, what the KW's course writers have built Bold Pivot around, is these 4 things that Gary gives us, okay? So here's number 1. Gary says, wake up and pay attention, get real to get right, okay? Wake up and pay attention and get real to get right. Now, what he's saying there is he's saying, hey, make no mistake where we are. And then he says these words, don't let how you feel about this situation dictate what you do about this situation, right? Okay, get our mindset right, and then make sure that we get our actions right. Gary also tells us when times are normal, right? When times are normal, and the tide is high, all boats stay afloat. Have you guys been in real estate when the tide's high? You guys have, right? When you put a sign in the yard, you get multiple offer, your people think you're just the rock star real estate agent, and the reality is all we did was put it on MLS, right? Sold itself. The market dictated it. So what happens in a shift is that tide starts to recede. Things start to change. And so Gary tells us this, when the tide recedes, only those boats that make the appropriate responses and do the appropriate actions are going to be the boats that stay on the water. Everybody else is going to end up on the ground. The last ship we went through in 08 and 09, Jamie, what do we have, like 44% of agents across the country didn't even make it. Weren't even here anymore, okay? Now, first of all, I know you guys will not be one of those statistics because you guys are up this morning doing what you should be doing in this season, right? Okay, so that's number 1. Here's number 2. Gary's teaching us to learn to live on less. Okay, learn to live on less. In a shift, Sarasota, you don't out-revenue your way through a shift, okay? You cut expenses, all right? You take a hard, honest look at your expenses, at everything coming in and everything going out. And if it is not absolutely needed, it's gone. Are you with me? Okay. A penny saved is a penny earned. The first dollar you make is the dollar you save, not the dollar you spend. Part of what we're going to do in Bold Pivot is we're going to show you how to save $300 to $600 right off the bat. And I think that would be a value, right? Think about it this way. We all have these iPhones, right? Or some sort of phone. Did you know you have subscriptions on this that are hiding on there, and you may not even know they're there? And I guarantee you many of them you don't even need. Go to your subscriptions and shut those off. Does that make sense? Okay. So we've got to learn to live on less. Here's the next one, number 3 that Gary gives us. Double down on lead generation. Okay. Now, if I were to come out there to First Step to Bold, what I always say at First Step to Bold is, as a coach, my job is 3 things for you: to tell you what you don't want to hear, show you things you don't want to see, and challenge you to do things you don't want to do. This is one of those moments, okay? I'm just preparing you. I love you. I'm just preparing you. When we say double down on lead generation, we literally mean double down on lead generation. So if you've been doing lead generation for 2 hours a day, now you're going to do it for 4 hours a day. If you've been making 100 contacts a week, which is what the typical standard in Bold is, we're going to ask you now to hold yourself accountable to 200 contacts a week. Here's the reason. The number of leads it required to meet your goal 2 months ago, that number is higher today, okay? Your consumer has a different mindset. The market is shifting, and it's our job right now more than ever, Sarasota, to stay in front of our people and stay connected to our database. Your database is what's going to drive you through this season, help you survive, and help you thrive. The mantra right now for Keller Williams International from Gary is service first and sell second. And that needs to be our thought process as we reach out to everyone in our database right now, okay? And I want to give you 3 C's as you make those calls. Here's the first one: care. The second one is compassion. And the third one is common sense, okay? Today's not today to pick up the phone and call our database and say, hey, who do you know who's looking to buy a home, sell a home, or invest in real estate? Okay? Don't lead with that. We've got to lead with care. So our first question today is, how are you doing, and how is your family doing? And how are the people around you doing? All right? Hey, guys, our world today has a lot of fear. They may be sick. They may have people in their world that are sick. They may have lost their job. They may be terrified of losing their home. And our job is to care for them today, even more than we ever have before. And then based on whatever they say, our second job then is to have compassion on them, right? And that sounds like this: how can I serve you today? Is there anything I can do today that would make your day or your week run smoother, run safer, right? It could be a simple team as dropping off some groceries at their front doorstep so that they don't have to. You guys with me? So here's what I know during this season, okay? During this season, people will always remember how you made them feel, much more so than what you said to them, okay? And I'll tell you this: I do not believe in the term social distancing. I know that may make me a bad guy. Hear my heart. I believe in the term physical distancing, okay? In no way, shape, or form should you and I socially distance right now. In fact, it's more important now than ever that we don't isolate and we get all the way in with our people at your market center, and our people in our database, okay? And then here's the fourth and final thing that Gary gives us, okay? Number 4, lean into the market of the moment. Lean into the market of the moment. Make no mistake what our market is. Now, here's what I want to tell you too, guys. Your job is still to be the local expert and the local economist of choice. You cannot interpret or articulate the market to your people if you don't understand the market. So we've got to know the market today better than we ever have, okay? We have to know the market. Gary teaches us this: be prepared for the market you're in and the market that is to come, all right? The market that's coming, guys, we can't dictate it, and yet we can know. Would you guys all agree the market that's coming is going to look probably a little bit different than it has looked, right? Okay, so if we're going to be able to articulate that, we've got to understand it. And know this: no 2 markets are the same, all right? What brought you here won't keep you here. What worked 2 months ago may not work today, right? I mean, look at what we're doing today. We're doing listing presentations digitally. We're doing buyer representations digitally. We're showing properties digitally. We're doing open houses digitally. The world as we know it is different. And Jamie, I think you would agree. I think our world moving forward is forever going to be different, right? Okay, so here's what I'll tell you guys. We're not going to go back to normal. And quite frankly, I don't think we should go back to normal. I think we grab a hold of the gifts that are in this shift, and you and I learn to survive in this and also thrive in it and on the other side of it. Okay? Make sense, everybody? Okay. Somebody give me 2 or 3 ahas you got just out of that time we just had together. And then I'm going to tell you a little bit about Bold Pivot. What's something you wrote down? What's something you learned? Let me hear from you.
I think one thing that's really important that we keep talking about on these calls or other things that we're doing is you have to, I think you said lean into the market of the moment or adapt to the market of the moment or have a plan for it. You can't just, ignore what's happening and say, okay, well, things like you said, we'll get back to normal. No, because what you do now is going to fund the next, 3 to 6 months of your business. So if what you're doing now isn't different, it's probably not going to be as impactful because everything's different at the moment. So we have to be different.
That's exactly right. Kieran, I love it. Very good. Anybody else? I can do it all over again.
It's Maureen. I think the things that I picked up were service first and sell second. That really ought to be our mantra always, every day, all day, in any market, at all times, because that's who we are as a culture.
That's right.
And then the second one is, just get real to get it right. And we really do have to be aware of what's really happening around us and using that in our common sense to move forward.
Yes, that's great, Maureen. Very good. Somebody give me one more thing you got out of that.
Hi.
Oh, sorry, Tim.
Go ahead, Tim.
Where you put the journal, you split the page down the middle, you put what for your life and with your business.
Yeah.
And something 3 every day. I'd like that too.
Yeah. Hey, that mindset, Tim, is so, our mindset drives us, guys. Okay. One of the things I firmly believe in is you are where you are because of how you think, right? So if you don't like where you are, you got to change how you think, right? Catherine, what did you have? Did you have something?
I had to come back and unmute myself. Good morning. I was just going to say, don't let how you feel about a situation dictate what you do about the situation. I can go back and look at my timeline in the past and see a number of times where I let how I feel dictate what I do about it.
That's right. Yeah. Hey, Catherine, if you're anything like me, if I just go on what I feel, that typically does not go well for me, right?
Well, sometimes it does, but it's when you're working, when you're actually, you have a business goal, it is not productive.
Right. Yeah. Very good. I love it. I love it. Well, hey guys, let me, if you're okay with it, I want to give you just a little bit about Bold Pivot and answer any questions you have around that as well. Okay. So Bold Pivot is what we have. So Bold and KWRI, just all of us getting, fully on the same page and going, hey, how do we meet the needs of our folks all across our company, literally worldwide? So here's what's awesome about Bold Pivot Sarasota is originally it was going to be Bold 2.0 for your market center and a few other market centers. And now, Gary said, hey guys, we got to go meet everyone. We've got to get everyone the opportunity. And so this is literally for everyone internationally. We have people signed up from Greece, from Mexico. It's been awesome to see our company come together internationally. And it's also for non-KW agents, right? And so guys, anybody that maybe you've been recruiting, this is a great soft opportunity for you to say, hey, look, it's time for us just to come together as an industry. And so this isn't to recruit you. This is, I know how much you care about your business and your life. So would you get in with us as we do this live stream? So here's what it's going to look like. It's going to kick off May 5th. If you guys want to write that date down, May 5th. And then if you'll just go ahead and block out your calendars, because if it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist, right? So block your calendars out from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern time. every day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for the entire month of May. Okay, 2 to 4 p.m., Tuesday through Friday. Now, here's what it's going to look like. On Tuesday and Thursday, you're going to have 8 top bold coaches. Okay, so here's the cool thing. I was coming to do bold with you guys, and you were only going to get 1 bold coach, just this little guy out here from Texas. Now you're going to get 8 top bold coaches, all right, who have been through a number of shifts, who have years and years and years of experience, who are going to be coaching you. And so Tuesday and Thursday from 2 to 4 Eastern is going to be a live stream with 8 coaches bringing you the content portion of Bold Pivot, where we're going to be coaching and teaching you the content of Bold Pivot to survive and thrive in this market, okay? And then on Wednesday and Friday from 2 to 4 p.m., you're going to have the opportunity, it's an optional opportunity for you to be a part of what we're calling Coach's Corner. Coach's Corner is going to be a live, interactive time with other bold coaches. So you're going to get even more bold coaches that are going to come and they're going to answer your questions around your business, the market, the content that we've presented to you. And so they're going to coach you literally on that. So there may be hundreds of people on there. And I think you know as well as I do, if one person has a question, there's probably another 100 people that have the same question, right? So you're going to get on there. You don't have to ask questions. And yet it's going to be a great learning time for 2 hours on Wednesday and Friday. And then we're also going to ask that you be a part of the Bold Pivot Facebook page. Now, this is not just a Facebook page, so you're a part of another group on Facebook. This is a interactive coaching Facebook page. In fact, the materials you're going to need as we go through Bold Pivot, you're going to pull off of the Facebook page, okay? And here's what I can tell you too. Every day, Monday through Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., we have coaches that every 2 hours, they're signed up for a time slot. And they're literally sitting, waiting for you to ask your questions so they can help you and coach you and walk alongside you. So it's not just a Facebook page where you get on there and you scroll. It's a Facebook page for you to learn and to be coached, all right? So all of that together, it's going to run through the entire month of May. All of that together, guys, is a $99 cost to you guys. And actually, I should say it this way. It's a $99 investment for you, not a cost to you. Now, hear my heart, okay? I know that $99 today holds a heavier weight than it did 2 months ago. So I'm not saying that's not a lot of money. What I am saying is I can't think of a better way for you to invest in yourself, your business, your family, and quite frankly, your legacy, because the choices you and I make today, guys, are the results we receive tomorrow. Okay. I'm a big coach when it comes to choices. All right. Like my kids have an affirmation. They stand on their chair every day and they say, I choose to make good choices today because the choices I make me. Right now they're 7. So right now they're choosing, do I eat a crayon or not eat a crayon? Right. And yet later on, those choices are going to be a lot bigger, right? And our choices today in this season, Sarasota, are monumental when it comes to where we are a month from now, quite frankly, where we are a year from now, and even 5 years from now, right? We've got to survive to then thrive. And so that cost you is $99. Think of it this way. If you break that down, it's $25 a week. You're going to receive 8 hours of coaching from top bold coaches across the country, which breaks down to about $3 and change per hour to be coached, right? And I know that we can't find coaching for that like that anywhere, all right? And so our heart is to meet you where you are, walk alongside you, stand with you, and pick you up and carry you if we have to, okay? So any questions for me? What can I answer for you? How can I help you?
Hey, Dusty, not a question, but I did want to make sure the agency that normally when we do bold, it's $800 and the Market Center reimburses our agents for that fee on the first 4 transactions they have once they've gotten into bold. So $200 deal. With this one, we're just going to be paying you back that $100 on your first deal. So get into this program, go through the training. It's absolutely going to help get your mindset right. It's going to keep you in activity. It's going to give you the new strategies and new things you need to be focusing on. And as soon as you put your first deal together, you're going to get that $100 back. So it's going to be free because I don't foresee anyone going through this program and not at least putting one deal in place, right? So take advantage of that and get signed up.
And Carrie and Jamie, thank you guys for doing that. You guys know that they wouldn't do that if they didn't believe in you, right? Okay. And if they didn't believe what we're doing in Bold Pivot, and this is the culture of our company. So thank you guys for doing that. Anybody else, any questions I can answer? Any way I can help you? One thing I did not mention, and I want to make sure that I do, is the Tuesday and Thursday live stream, guys. That will be recorded. So if for some reason you had to miss or you had to drop off early, within 48 hours, you'll have access to the live recording, which, Jamie, you know, that's different than normal Bold, because normally if you miss a day in Bold, you're not able to get the instruction piece of that. And now you'll be able to go back and listen to it and have access to that. So it's a great opportunity. Okay. Anybody else? Any other questions? Jamie, anything at all?
I think that's it. You did an amazing, very thorough job. I'm getting, my phone's blowing up with agents telling me how much they love your energy and what you're saying. It's true. You're an amazing human being. Love it. Love your energy. We're looking forward to it very much.
Jamie, thank you so much. And hey, Sarasota, I'll make a promise to you. I know we weren't able to do this face-to-face right now. I guarantee you we'll find a way where we will do that as the world begins to open back up. I'm so honored to walk alongside you. And I know this may sound weird, and yet I want you to hear me. I do love you. And I'm for you, and I'm for your family. And we're here to walk alongside you. So I look forward to it. I tell you what, if you guys would do me one favor kind of here at the end, if you have already signed up, would you just put in the chat box, I'm already signed up? And if you have not, and you intend on doing that today, would you put over there 2 words? And then that way Jamie and Kieran can kind of take a look at who's going to be jumping in. So I see Maria says, let's see, we've got already signed up. I'll be signing up today. Already signed up. That's what I'm talking about, Sarasota. Get in there. Look at that. We're still going. This is my favorite part. It's like the lottery going off over there, right? It starts going. I'll sign up. Very good. So, hey, guys, thank you so much for allowing me the gift and the opportunity to be with you. I look forward to spending the 4 weeks in May with you. And then as our world begins to open back up, I look forward to coming to Sarasota so I can see you all face to face, give you a high five and a hug, okay? Until then, we'll do that physical distancing thing. Just don't do social distancing, okay? All right. Okay, Jamie, thank you so much for your leadership. Sarasota on the water, I love you. Look forward to seeing you soon, okay?
All right. Thanks, Dusty. Appreciate you being with us.
Guys, take care. Bye-bye. Have a great day.
You too.